This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 9th of July, 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
It's our 100th episode, isn't it?
Yes, it is 100. I can't even believe it.
Just careful,
Awesome. Yay. The star. You are lying. PS Kibicho tells DP Ruto. Daily Nation. MPs now demand total 17 allowances.
Yeah.
And the Standard, why MPs want spies in schools. Let's start with these allowances that the MPs are demanding.
They are mad.
They are. They're actually
They are
mad.
totally mad.
Are they really?
Yes.
Wasn't this the headline yesterday?
Yes,
when they
it
were
was the
saying
headline.
All eyes on Uhuru as he was trying to decide. Yeah, it's quite...
I
the audacity.
have to say that I read a history that they gave, a timeline that's very interesting at the top of this the Nation story,
Yes.
where they give the trajectory of the increase in the allowances over the years.
Yeah.
And did you know that in 1998, MPs received a basic salary of 15,000 shillings a month, including other allowances? Their total salary came to 122,000 shillings a month. Fast forward to the year of our Lord 2019, and they receive a total of 1.1 million shillings.
That's crazy.
And they're pushing for
Absolutely
2.9.
2.9?
Yes, guys, I must tell you this as Kenyans. Please become an MP.
I know.
There's nowhere where you're going to receive such a salary.
Didn't you say
and these
you're
rates.
going for nominated
Yeah,
MP?
I'm running for office.
But I have to say
I
this.
just chill and then they pay me. I go for committee.
Oh yes, they
meetings.
give you committee
The
allowances.
allowance.
They give you a sitting allowance for coming to Parliament.
Yes.
And I do have to say one last thing.
Yeah.
Before I give us our criteria for tossing this headline, because we must toss it.
Yes.
Do you know that the original purpose of giving MPs an allowance was to cater for the activities that they do in Parliament?
Yeah.
And if you were to look at the history of the English Parliament, where a good bunch of the MPs were from wealthy households, they never got a salary per se.
Yes.
In fact, the House of Commons, which now had the commoners, got a salary in 1911. Before you were given
Like a stipend?
a symbolic compensation.
Oh,
I love
wow.
those words.
So we've really
compensation.
corrupted what it meant to be an MP.
Well, yes and no. MPs do need a salary for this reason.
True.
It allows every person on the spectrum to become an MP.
Yeah.
So whether you come from a poor household or from a rich household, you can become an MP.
Yes.
But how much you get paid?
2.9.
That's a whole other story.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
I think
We have a 3-part criteria that
Does
we use
this.
to break down the headlines for you. We ask ourselves, is this headline topical or is it speculative? Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy?
it's a combination of the headline and the story. It needs to go.
Toss it.
Yes.
Why MPs want spies in schools?
So this is actually a repetition of a story.
Yes.
They were saying that the students are getting so rowdy that they need to have spies in the schools to monitor what they're doing so that they can arrest them and, charge them with whatnot.
Yeah.
I think purely based on the fact that it is a repetition of a story, we need to toss it.
Absolutely.
But I think that what we did say is that the headline the Standard should have chosen is the one in this lower corner.
Auditor bombshell on dams scandal.
So they received a report that has now conclusively decided that 4.2 billion was stolen from the Awar and Kimware dam scandal.
Stolen or just
Okay,
someone
in fact,
paid for
yes. They said they cannot find who signed for it. They don't know where the money went. 4.2 just
Poof, disappeared.
gone. Yeah.
So are we expecting arrests?
I will say this. Maybe arrests will come in the year of our Lord 2020.
I don't think it's going to happen.
In any case, Oko has been wrong in the past. He stole us money, has disappeared, and then
they found it.
And then retracted that statement and said,
I was wrong.
It was all above board.
So what do we say about that headline?
I think we toss it.
Toss it.
Promptly.
Finally, the star. You are lying. PS Kibicho tells DP Ruto. Is this the end of our assassination saga?
I'm beginning to like PS Kibicho because you would think he is the minister, and the four that went to DCI and appeared in front of cameras are not. You'd actually think he's their boss because he was very vague. He did not say I said this, he did not say I said this, and by the way, the man did not go to DCI to report.
Yeah,
or to
and I think that's the important thing about this story.
Yes.
It has corrected the lie that was in the Standard a few days ago, saying that they said he claimed he was being harassed.
I'm being harassed.
Who knows? Maybe he was, but the truth of the matter is he did not go to DCI to give a statement. And yesterday he had some fear factor. He said, "What if they want to come for me? Let them come for me."
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I'm
so
saying nada.
what do we say about the headline?
I think it's a fantastic headline. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are lying. It's great.
But
I would pick that up.
I don't think those were his words.
And we've called the Star out for.
I don't think those were his words.
Twisting.
He may have implied it, and
Yeah.
he did not say anybody's name. But unlike the ministers, all right, he was very vague, and he might have said some things, but there was no target.
Yeah.
Well, then we have to say this. We have to give the Star for giving us clickbait. We bought it. We read it.
It's
because
effective.
It's effective.
Yes.
Let's keep it.
Winning headline.
Winning headline for today is from the Star. On to our next segment, the pieces that we call cartoons in this country.
Yes.
And just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the cartoons for you. We ask ourselves, is a cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy? Victor Ndula of the Star has given
Another
us
Magufuli.
a cartoon.
Given us a cartoon.
Magufuli.
You guys, seriously, we said
The
this
cashew
yesterday.
nut.
It is so disrespectful.
I know.
How
the
they drew
nut.
the shape of his head.
They drew his head. Well, anyway, let's describe it. President Magufuli of Tanzania rolling out the red carpet for one Uhuru Kenyatta. And Uhuru has come out with a bouquet of flowers. And he's put one flower. And caption, charm offensive. But under the carpet is bad headlines. Magufuli on Kenya teasy, diplomatic wrangles, Jaguars xenophobic attacks, Tanzania trade war. Look, I told you guys yesterday, Uhuru did fantastic.
Yeah.
And I had another fact. Do you guys know that there are only 24 Tanzanian companies in Kenya?
What?
24.
Are you serious?
Why is that?
Wholly owned?
All of Kenya. 24.
Wow. All right.
All right, and that is those are the number of businesses on UN Avenue. Now, in Tanzania, we have how many? Over 500.
Yeah.
So I said this must be a lesson to anybody who is going to spread hate to African neighbors or to East African neighbors. You must know the end game. The end game is colonization.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't see that coming. So what do we say about this cartoon?
I think let's put it in the parking bay while we look at the other ones.
Okay, the standard. Hey, 2M, I don't know. Should we put a bleeper on you? Missiles coming your way and missing. All aboard?
Gado.
Gado.
Referendum Express.
I like this. Is a train, one of those steam engines, the old ones, the ones the British used to give us in the 1912s. And the prince, none other, caricature of Uhuru Kenyatta, is the driver of the train.
Random question. Why does he look a bit rotund? He's a bit fat. This one.
And I don't know what he's wearing here.
And who sat next to him?
Babaman.
Yep.
Raila. And he's carrying I think this is Kalonzo and Atuli.
Yeah.
And the old man of Kenyans.
Yeah, I think so. The
Jumping on.
context of this story is that we have reached the 1 million signature mark.
Yeah, but
Yes.
we also need to make a distinction.
Yes.
That may not that is a process driven by Okoro Okot,
Yes.
who civil society. This other one here is a process that could be led by Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga.
I must say this.
Yes.
You're talking about leading and going somewhere. There's implication of going somewhere. This train is grounded.
It is grounded.
is.
It is
Yeah.
grounded next
It's
to
grounded.
months. And Kenyans are
Piling on
entering.
it.
And I think
As
and I think
fools.
what's even more interesting is
Yeah.
the expressions that Gado has put on the faces of these Kenyans, right? They don't look very intelligent. So what is he saying about us? Right? These people, they look crazed.
Can you
They
tell?
look crazy.
Can
They
you
look
tell
foolish. The
someone's
people
intelligence?
hugging up here, drinking.
Doing high fives, they don't look.
Can you tell someone's intelligence by looking at their face?
I'm telling you, you can tell. He's. There's a lot that's being said in this one.
Yeah.
It's being said that one, we are all boarding onto this referendum train that is going nowhere. One,
Yeah.
this train is grounded. This
Yes.
train is broken and ramshackle, and we are all none the wiser for it. We're
Yes.
fools.
What Gado is telling us is this: it's a steam engine. The steam engine has cobwebs. You're using an old map to go to new lands by
That's also
telling us
another way.
that we want more positions.
I agree.
So what
I
did you
like
say?
that.
all we need
I
is-
think that now that we've seen this, I want to toss the nation.
Toss
Yes.
Why is Dula?
Yes,
Yes.
Ndula. All right.
Park that as we look at the stars. Ozone.
No. And condolences to the family of Joe Kadenge. And this is cartoon by Ozone, caricature of the departed Joe Kadenge, and what the late Mohammed Juguna used to say, Kadenge Nampira, shoot. And then he slows down and says, shine on your way. And you know what, guys? This man was neglected. It's only now that the political animals are coming out of their holes and they're trying to celebrate him. And also as well, we also are a very hypocritical society because
Good to see.
Bob left us last week.
Yeah.
And his funeral was full of Kenya's glitterati. And they gave him all manner of accolades. And sure enough, he deserves them.
Yeah.
But I think Joe deserves a lot more than has been said about him.
Yeah, I mean, there was this in the Standard.
Yeah,
They tell us, stop fake tears for Kadenge.
Yeah, for
And I think,
Kadenge. Yeah, I mean, we live in a very hypocritical society, and I think we should just be real and give... This guy used to drive a taxi, an old 504, and he's represented Kenya for more than 10 years, all right? So I think we should stop being hypocritical and recognize our heroes for who they are.
And as we do out of respect, when it is an honorary cartoon, we do not toss them.
We do not toss it, we will put it in the parking bay. And I think that makes Gado give us the cartoon of the day.
Most definitely. That is such a good cartoon.
Our winning cartoon is from Gado. I don't know if I like it or I hate it because I'm one of these comments. What is our final thought?
And now our final thought. Inspired by a book entitled, I was going to say Jans. Guns, Germs and Steel by Jared Diamond. And guys, you know, this book, in my view, was cleansing colonization, right?
Wow.
And what Diamond is telling us, it was just business. Nothing was personal. And he's also telling us, and I sort of agree, that by the time the white man landed in Africa, or wherever he went, we had an inferior disposition. Okay.
He found us already with this inferior disposition. We were waiting for this glorified white person to save
Come
us.
and save us.
Yes.
Gosh. It's okay, let him make his point.
Continue, please.
There were 4 success factors that the white man had, the colonizer had. And in my view, there are 4.
Yeah.
All right? And it is because he conquered these 4 things. And the first one was the conquest of time. You see, the European had everything very close to him. He had his farm and he had his cows. He could milk, he could farm, and then go do other things. All right. Second, he had conquered proximity. The fact that he had a farm and everything right next to him, it means he could have gone to do other things. He could have gone to add value on metal. He could go and add value on steel. He could even go and bake. Unlike
us Africans who are running around
looking for wild fruits and honey, you know, because it was in plenty. But also the third thing that the white man was able to conquer was resources. Not because he had them, but it's because he knew that Africa had the curse of plenty. And having the curse of plenty makes you know that tomorrow there'll be some for me, so I really don't have to go and add value to it. And also because he knew that he had overproduced and the resources were just too few for too many, he had to conquer other lands. But the best of all, he had structured structure itself. You see, when you structure, you know that it is time for milking, it is here. The time for the African was running to the bush, coming back, feeding his family, and burping and let's dance.
Oh my goodness.
Which is not bad, it was just our ways. But you see, at the end of it all, what he's saying is this. It's because you were colonized because you were not able to ring fence our resources. What was there for Europe, what was important for Europe was also important for us, but we just did not realize how important it was for us.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I kind of agree with what you said.
Apart from the part that we were just running around
burping and dancing. Anyway, yes, as you said, the book is called Guns, Germs and Steel, The Fates of Human Societies. It was written in 1997 and was immensely popular at the time. And it is considered a transdisciplinary book in that it focuses on research that crosses many disciplines in order to create a holistic approach. And I take issue with that because I do not think that this guy, as he wrote this book, created a holistic approach. I think it was very narrow-minded, but we'll get to that. So Diamond is a professor of geography and physiology. He is not a historian. So he attempts to write a history book and he kind of gets there, but there's some issues. So in this book, he attempts to explain why some societies are more successful than others. And the book starts with a question that he was asked by a man in Papua New Guinea, a man named Yali. And he asks him, why is it that you white people developed so much cargo? And cargo here he means inventions and manufactured goods.
Yes.
And brought it to New Guinea.
Yeah.
But we black people had little cargo of our own.
Yes.
And so this is the question that sparks this book that he decides to write.
Yeah.
So he realized that people of Eurasian origin, which is Europe and Asia, they dominated in wealth and power, but other continents, other races, or other people failed to do so, and then they therefore lagged.
Yes.
Yes.
So the title of the book, Guns, Germs, and Steel, comes from these following things.
Yeah.
Guns were the superior weapons that allowed for immediate superiority.
Yeah.
They arrived on the coasts of Africa and they
shot us.
Exactly.
They came with guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
The germs, the Eurasian diseases weakened and reduced local populations who had no immunity, making it easy to dominate over them. So they came with their diseases and then we died.
They gave them to us and we died.
Yes, and then finally, steel.
Yes.
It allowed for durable transport and facilitated in imperialism. So the conclusion that this guy comes to is he says that the question of European dominance is normally explained by genetics.
Okay.
I am superior because I am white.
Yes.
But he is not convinced by that argument that people are born more superior to others.
Yes.
Instead, he says that these differences happened because of geographical luck.
Wow.
They are developed and we are underdeveloped because of luck. That is it.
Okay, before we
completely.
disagree, let's try and follow his logical progression.
Yeah.
So he says that any great civilization has three things in common, and these three things are an advanced technology, a large population, and a well-organized workforce.
Yeah.
So he says that these things are the things that distinguish or look at or say to put the difference between the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
So he tries to go back to a time when there was absolutely no inequality, if at all I could call it that, when every single person on the face of the earth had the same prospects or opportunities available to them. And then now what is the difference between how we took those opportunities and how we progressed? And he takes us back to where he begins in the book. A short history of what? 13,000 years.
Yes.
So 13,000 years ago, everyone was at the same spot.
Yes.
We were all sapiens, as we discovered yesterday. So we were thinking, we were rational. We had some rudimentary forms of working. We had some rudimentary tools, whether they were made of stone or whatever, we had them. Then, now, we are all also hunters and gatherers.
Yes.
That's how we get our food.
Yes.
And hunting and gathering is a very rough way of getting
you
food.
hunt, you go picking up
You look
oranges.
for the food, you move where the food takes you.
Yes.
So everyone independently makes the jump that we have to stop hunter-gathering, we have to farm.
Yes.
And he says that farming was crucial to the history of human inequality. But not just the farming, the type of farming you did. So we decided, one, we have to stop going out to forage for food. We have to start growing this food ourselves. So one of the first things we did was independently grow grasses. So food
And
grasses
grains,
and grains. And the best ones were in China, they had rice. In Africa, we had sorghum and millet and yams, which are root vegetables. At least we'd advanced more than the rest. And in the Americas, they also had corn, squash, and beans. So these things happened independently. So we are all on the same plane up until this point. Now we've domesticated our planting. We have to stop. This goes with the gathering. Now we have to start hunting. And that's another jump that happens. So we have to domesticate our animals because now I have plants. I have to take care of them. I can't go out.
You can't leave for long periods of time to look for animals.
But of all the animals in the world, only, and this is his, 14 animal species have been domesticated ever. And we know them. It's the cows, the goats, the sheep, the camels, the horses. And leave the ones that you're doing for love, because a dog is for love and protection. The ones that you're doing for production, because those animals helped you produce food. You could use the cows to pull an ox plow and move your production further. Now, first inequality happens here. Because said animals are found in Eurasia. Africans, not for lack of trying, were unable to domesticate elephants and zebras.
Lion. You're not able to domesticate a lion,
Simba.
Oh, no, you can't. Then the other thing that did was that he gave us germs.
Yes, because you're living in close proximity to animals and their waste.
To animals and their waste, they gave us diseases. Then, because we're also living as many human beings close together, remember we stopped hunting and gathering, we gave each other these diseases. Then we were able to either die or live and be immune. Now the people who lived became immune to the diseases and now became carriers of the disease but not had the disease. Then now remember we expanded. Now we have animals, we have plants, we have diseases that we've become immune to. We need to move out of these spaces because we've overpopulated. So we use steel
Yes.
to build us the machinery
Transport.
that we use to go out and search for
Now,
new lands.
we are going ahead.
Now these people arrived in our spaces.
Yes.
Yeah.
First, they gave us diseases, and two, they realized, there are people here. We need to violently take their land
So
from
what do
them.
they do? They come
They
with their
use
Force.
weapons.
the guns.
Came
Yeah.
with
They have
force.
now superior weapons because
Yeah.
remember we learned how to forge steel quite a while back.
Yes.
Now we forged guns,
Yeah.
and we use these guns and the gunpowder that we have found
Yes.
to now attack you. And you think that what we do is we came with, what did he call it? Cargo.
Yes. Yeah.
Evidence of our power.
Yeah.
And he says that it's just because that first lucky thing we had, we were able to farm and put animals, and that freed up our time for us to innovate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I sort of agree, but me, I know, guys, I am pro-African.
Yes. All right.
Pro-African, pro-African renaissance, pro-African everything. But we have to admit one thing.
What?
We don't see, and one wise man I know said, we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are.
Yeah, and I
Right?
think that's a very important statement.
Yeah, and see, when a man called Francisco Pizarro, I know a lot.
You read the book.
Head of, he was a Spanish general. What these guys who go to
Yeah.
Conquistador.
to conquer other lands.
He's a
Guy,
conquistador.
he went to this. It's called the Emperor, the Incan Empire. The very small army, very small armada.
163 Spaniards to be
yes.
precise.
But they chop at those Incan people.
Yeah.
So there are about 1,000 of them, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because of this. 3 continents, for example, you've got Africa, you've got America, you have Polynesia, if at all it's a continent. And the white man finds the exact same structures, right? There must have been a reason why the white man dominated us. And we have to also, the reason I'm saying why we have to see things as they are is because the white man was organized. And there's a reason why he came for new resources. If we were just seeing ourselves because we had resources, we had gold, we had wild fruits, we had milk, all around us, we knew it would exist tomorrow. The white man had seen the future.
And what was
Right.
the future?
The future was conquering new lands so that they can increase their empire, so that they can grow their empire.
All right, so I misunderstood your point. I think that if we go back to what started this book,
Yes.
when this man asks, you brought these things to New Guinea, but we black people had little cargo of our own. I think this goes back to the conversation we had last week.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that there was this perception of the white man as having more than we did.
Yes.
He came with his guns, with his germs, with his steel, and convinced us that we were lesser than.
And we need to,
But if you, wait, you spoke,
we
let me
need
talk.
to blame ourselves.
No, we should not blame ourselves. I think that we need to re-evaluate those things that have been pushed onto us.
Yes,
Are you
and I
telling me that
agree
a
with
country
you.
like DRC does not have any cargo of
That's
its own?
precisely the point. Now, this man called Yali, the reason he asked him that question, he could have asked, why are you coming here with your cargo?
And maybe-
and I have nothing.
and I think
why
that's
do
one-
you need to settle it?
And I think that's one of the
in Guinea?
criticisms of the book. I think he took a very narrow approach to what he saw.
Yes.
He worked backwards to justify the statements that he wanted to convey. So what if this man, Yali, was asking him, not why do I have so little,
Yeah,
but
why do you need this?
But why have you come with all these things? You've come to conquer me with all your boxes and your...
Why didn't you just come on your own and talk to me?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you should have-
I don't
So-
know.
Precisely.
This is Winning Headlines.
Yes.
It's our 100th episode.
Yes.
2M is pulling no punches. He came to preach. Our winning headline is from the Star, and our winning question is from Adele of the Standard. Today I want to dedicate our episode to our viewers. We would
yes.
not have our winning headlines if we did not have our viewership. We would like to thank you for watching us for 100 whole episodes. I don't know how you do it.
Yes.
And subscribe to our channel, The Fifth Estate,
Yes.
on YouTube and our social media. We're working on it. 100 episodes in, I think we've gotten slightly better.
Yeah.
Have a great day. See you tomorrow.